everybody to the Dweeb Domain, better known to everybody else as Comic Comments. I'm Matt.
I'm Pete.
And today we're doing something a little bit different. We've been doing a lot of Secret Wars stuff. We've got some Secret Wars non-related stuff on the way. But today we are doing the Dice Masters game, which, as you can see, is comic book related. You have Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dungeons and Dragons packs for it. They're rumoured to be bringing out a Pokemon pack for it, but definitely the most popular and core ones, there's Avengers vs X-Men, which we have some of, Uncanny X-Men, and there is the Justice League one. I ended up going with the Justice League starter pack, because there's the starter pack, and then there's setup packs where you get like a place to keep your dice and everything, and then there's booster packs, which are incredibly good value, and we keep buying them. I picked this up because I adore like games that you can collect, and I saw there were boosters and stuff. I was like, okay, I can collect it. I enjoy dice-based games, and I love card games, like where you collect cards and cards actually make a difference. First reaction was pure confusion. Like, how long did it take? An hour and a half?
Yeah, we were looking on the internet for how to play the game for about an hour and a half because we just didn't understand.
It's one of those games where I read the instruction booklet and I was like, I don't get it. Pete read it.
And I didn't get it.
And then we were watching videos of other people explain it and we were still like, we don't understand. And yet we watched one video of people playing the game and it just clicked, and we've had no trouble with it since. So I can definitely say, if you get this game, just search up like how to play and then this, and then look for a playthrough video. It makes life a lot more simple. We're not really going to talk about like a step-by-step on how to play the game, because as I've just said, that will be no use to you, but we can give you an idea of how the game works. This is your board that you're going to be using. This is the basic board. The actual ones that we can't get hold of are so much cooler. For a basic game, it's like 10 health, and then you'll use 2 cards and 3 action cards. Because you have action cards, which are like items, I guess, that you can buy. Then you've got your characters that you will use. Everything is represented by dice in this game. But you can go up to like 8 characters and 4 action dice, 20 health. Like, games can be quite lengthy. The basic idea of the game is, everything's based on your rolls. There's 3 kinds of dice. This is probably the one that appears most. You get 8 of these each. And these have different energies on. You use energies like a currency. You use it to buy actions or characters. And then there's also these, which counts as a character, but that is a sidekick, so they're pretty shitty. They're just good to... It works the same way as Yu-Gi-Oh! You have characters on the field. If you don't have characters on the field, then your health is attacked directly. So you want to keep yourself blocked, basically. So there's that dice. This is the action card dice. So if you get that, you can use an action, or you can get extra energy from it.
The third dice is a character dice, which goes with a card. For example, Deadpool, because Deadpool's great. 3 sides are the actual character and show how much attack and defense the roll is. 2 sides are double energy, so just more stuff to buy with. And then 1 side is just 1 energy.
And then you get character cards, and on a character card, that shows all the possible things to have on a dice. Characters have effects, and it's always useful to know what your characters can do, because it can save you in various situations. And then there's an action card very similar as well to it. And then we've got a couple of the Avengers vs X-Men. I've got obviously the whole Justice League starter pack, and we're going to continue to buy boosters and everything for it. But the idea of the game is just kind of, you want to get characters and actions out, and then you just sort of battle it out. So it's very much based on how good your rolls are, definitely. And I guess there's a bit of luck involved, because the system is basically, obviously, you use dice, they go into a used pile, they go back in your bag, you draw out dice, and so on and so forth. So if you get a bad draw, it doesn't matter, like, you're screwed for how good your roll can be. As a turn, you'd pick 4 dice out from your dice bag, and then obviously you roll those and just decide what you want to do. Do you want to buy any characters? Do you want to field anybody? So put anybody into play. And then you decide if you want to attack or not, and that's basically a turn. It is a very simple game once you get to grips with it. So like I said, we're just given a more general thing. Do you have any favourable cards?
Okay, so I have 2 favourites. First favourite card is this Deadpool.
Which is Deadpool...
Deadpool Assassin. You can buy it with only 4 energies. Yeah, you only need 4 dice.
Which is good.
Which is good, because you start with 4. And my second favourite is Obelisk the Tormentor, Fist of Fate.
Bitch of a card.
Which is just extremely strong and can attack him directly and do like 9 damage.
In a booster pack, you get 2 characters. Just got a text from my girlfriend asking if Quicksilver was Magneto's son. So there's like a certain amount of dice you can have on people. So you wouldn't just have a Deadpool card and 1 Deadpool dice. You could have 4 Deadpool dice. So you raise your chances of drawing 1 and having more on the field. So in a booster pack, you'll get 2 characters and then their corresponding dice. So you normally get 2 different characters with, their corresponding dice. He managed to get 2 different Deadpool cards, so 2 Deadpool dice, which is great. And he got Obelisk the Tormentor, which is a super rare card, because everything's got rarity and stuff like in most card games. So that was just ridiculous. The reason Deadpool is a dick is if you want to let them know his effect.
When Deadpool attacks, you may assign an opposing character to block him.
Because the way attacking works is I'd move characters up and I'd say I'm attacking, and then Pete would decide who am I going to defend and with what character. Whereas that basically means he can pick one of my shittier characters and block Deadpool, and then he's killed me. So it's a very difficult thing to get around, and it's annoying. Looking at action cards, there's no useless action cards, but these are our 4 that we prefer because they're awesome. We have Anger Issues, which basically means you get +3 attack and Overcrush, which means not only do you kill the opposition, but you do direct damage to them as well, which is great. We have the Phantom Zone, where you can actually trap a player's character in the Phantom Zone and take them out of play, which I do to Deadpool as often as I can, because he's just... Even Nova starts to annoy me, because his defense is crazy. Fist of Fury is amazing, because you basically deal direct damage, but you can deal up to 3 damage to somebody. Action cards are so important as well. You need a good balance of action cards and characters. And then Pick Your Battles, which is where each of your characters can only be blocked by characters of the same energy type.
Up the top here, it shows a little fist. There are 4 different energy types.
So you have the fist, which is there. You've also got Lightning Bolt, the Shield, the Mask, and then a question mark is just whatever energy type you want it to be. But if I wanted to buy Mystique, I need 4 energy, but one of those energies needs to be a mask.
So what are your favourite characters?
I have, because as I said, we've been playing with teams of 4, and I think I found a team that I'm pretty happy with. It's not like a hit and miss team. It's got me quite a few wins, but again, it all comes down to how good your rolling is. Zatanna, Stage Magician, because it's only 3 to buy her, which is great. And when she is defending, if I can draw out one of these little action dice, she takes no damage. So she's great to block with. Deathstroke, Villain for Hire, because Deathstroke's just a beast character. And if he's knocked out, he just regenerates back in the field zone. because some characters have what are called burst effects, which is basically on his dice. Like, this side doesn't have burst effect, however this one does, so I can not only field him but use his effect as well. Wolverine Wild Boy, because this is more of an attacking Wolverine, because his attack is just very high for the, like, I haven't seen many cards with attack this strong, which makes him very decent. And then finally, Pete's favourite card, which Pete will Phantom Zone given the chance, is Mystique Unknown. But basically, when she is either attacking or defending, she copies the stats and card abilities of a character. And if I roll a burst effect one, she gets +1 attack and 1 defense. So she matches them and then beats them every time without fail. Which is why I fucking love this card. This game I'd highly recommend. I mean, it helps that we're comic book fans, so like the characters, we actually get excited about the characters and everything, and I'd say it's quite accurate in like their abilities. So like Deadpool's got really high defense because he has a healing factor, and Mystique's thing is realistic because of her powers. Yeah, it's quick and easy setup, it's cheap.
It's really cheap.
It's very cheap. The starter pack was £13 and boosters are £1. So when you think about, like, in some games, add-on packs will cost you 15 quid. So the main game was 13. But boosters being £1 is terrible, because we'll be like, take a fiver down the local game shop and buy 5 booster packs. It's a highly addictive game, and it's just great to sort of collect, and it's, like I said, definitely for comic book fans. The fact that you have 3 different sets that you can collect from is cool, and they have a massive range of characters. You have like multiples of Deadpool, Batman, of all the characters. Characters will have 3 or 4 different cards, and they've each got different abilities, so you'll just find your favourite, and it just mixes things up a bit, which I quite like. At first I was a bit like, I'd prefer if there was just Batman and Superman and they had their abilities, but yeah, it's quite cool to have the option to swap in and out. One last thing for this that really Pete's just pointed out, so we might mention. Do you want to explain, Pete, what this means, this number here?
That's how many energy it costs to actually put the dice on the field, so you can use your character.
And it's also like a level, so if you look, it takes nothing to field this Deadpool, but obviously that means his stats aren't the best. Whereas with characters, if you're having to pay 2 or 3 energies to field them, you know they're decent. Because there are times when we'll roll a character and we're like, oh, that's great, but we know if we re-roll, because that's another thing, you do get chance in your turn to re-roll. What I like as well is there's strategy involved in this game. You don't just roll blindly and just do whatever. You've really, really got to think about what you are doing. I'll give one example of this, which is I have my Mystique character, but she has attack and defense of 1. She is useless. But sometimes I'll be thinking, well, you know, I've rolled her burst effect, she can kill absolutely anything, so I'll move her up to attack, and I'll say I'm attacking, and Pete will go, oh, well, I don't want to block. If a character goes unblocked, they do direct damage, and then they get moved out of play. So then this amazing Mystique has done next to nothing, and is gone, and I forget all about that a lot of the time. So you've really got to plan through it, which is good. What ages is this for? This is where we find out it's like...
This is like 3+.
Oh no, it's actually 14+, which makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Do you know what? I will actually take the time to point out in this video, finally, the dreaded secret that we've tried to hide from you. And if you haven't guessed already, we live right next to a train tracks, which makes filming hell. We have tried soundproofing and dampening the windows and everything. Obviously the window's shut before that one person is like, oh, shut the window. You will hear those occasional background noises, and we apologise for that. That's literally everything we can think to say. We've tried to make it as basic as possible, and we want to know if you would buy this game. I just like it for collecting purposes as well. Like, that's the thing, because I know some people who aren't that fussed about playing the game, but they just enjoy building up sets of things. You can definitely do that. It's totally collectible. It is very fun to play. And as our friend Fran said, she was like, it's great for those nerdy people with no friends. Because she was like, oh, you can tell it's aimed at nerds. And we were like, what's that supposed to mean? And she was like, well, it's only 2 players. You only need one other, mate. And we were just like, yes, that is very true. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. Another quite short episode, which I'm sure some people will be relieved with. I mean, we're going to, I would say 15 minutes for a quick episode, half an hour for a slightly longer episode. We will try and stay within those barriers. Anyway, we will see you in the next one. I'm going to go before I completely fall asleep. I have been Matt.
And I've been Pete.
Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe and share the video out. Our competition is still running. If we get 2 back-to-back videos that'll have 100 views minimum, then we'll be doing a giveaway. Also, don't forget, you can go over to facebook.com/comiccommentsyt. That's our main hub where you can check out everything that we're doing, find out about things first. If you want to ask either of us a question, go through my Twitter, which is @MusicNinjaMatt. If you go down in the description, there's a playlist where you can watch all the Comic Comments episodes that we have ever done. So yeah, Dice Masters, we will see you in the next one, and if you want to sponsor us, Dice Masters, we're happy to promote for you. Bye.